How Are Working Dogs Trained? By Grant Withers, canine specialist and writer. 4 minutes read, 0 comments. Table of contents. Empty heading. Organization training for working dogs. Pros and cons of organization training. Self-training for working dogs. Pros and cons of self-training for working dogs. Organization training and self-training similarities. Dogs that provide a service, such as seeing eye dogs and military dogs or therapy dogs, often undergo extensive training in order to perform their job. This type of training is typically done through an organization that specializes in teaching these dogs the skills they need based on the tasks they are expected to do. When you plan on having a working dog, should you go through an organization for training or handle the training on your own? Learn more about what it takes to have working dogs trained through organizations and through self-training, so you can decide which is best for your situation. Organization training for working dogs. Organizations that have working dogs trained begin by establishing basic obedience. Dogs must be able to follow commands before they can be trained to perform specific tasks. In order to successfully train working dogs, these organizations generally follow certain principles, such as being consistent when giving commands, remaining patient during training, and staying positive. These principles help ensure that dogs have the best chance to learn to follow commands and perform tasks that range from simple to challenging. Pros and cons of organization training. Relying on an organization for training can make it easier for you when you get a working dog. Your dog should already know how to perform certain tasks and obey commands. This means you won't have to worry about knowing how to train your dog correctly or having to spend time in order to go through the entire training process. Keep in mind that you should ensure that you understand how your dog was trained so that you continue giving commands the same way as the organization did. Making any changes on your part that differ markedly from organization training might confuse your dog. The other drawback to organization training is that training can serve as an important bonding process between dogs and their owners. Having your organization train your dog for you means that you miss out on this opportunity. However, there are other ways that you and your working dog can bond. Self-training for working dogs. Working dogs can also be self-trained rather than having to go through an organization for training. When you self-train your dog, you have total control over the whole training process. You can move through this process at your own speed. Keep in mind that you should also follow the same principles as organizations do in having working dogs trained. Always be patient with your dog, maintain a positive attitude during training, and use consistency when teaching your dog to follow different commands. These principles can make the training process go more smoothly for you while also keeping training sessions as stress-free as possible for you and your dog, which is best for your situation. Organization training for working dogs. Organizations that have working dogs trained begin by establishing basic obedience. Dogs must be able to follow commands before they can be trained to perform specific tasks. In order to successfully train working dogs, these organizations generally follow certain principles, such as being consistent when giving commands, remaining patient during training, and staying positive. These principles help ensure that dogs have the best chance to learn to follow commands and perform tasks that range from simple